If you want, we can start making more noise again. As in, you and me can start making more noise again in bed. Hello, and welcome to Pretty Boy Panic. This is a Yandere horror dating sim in which your new neighbours won't stop making noise. If you guys haven't seen my playthroughs of Lee and Tao's routes, I will link them in the description box below. But without further ado, let's get started. Oh, I'm so excited. You've been hearing muffled voices in your sleep lately. Silent screams and giggles from an unknown source that keeps you on your toes. You, of course, assume the noise is from your neighbours considering all the voices are coming through your walls. But lately, the voices have been becoming more and more strange. The sounds of doors slamming shut, or blunt objects hitting something not that solid, or splattering sounds leads your mind into thinking not so pleasant things. Man, I'm nervous. You don't know what your neighbours do at night, and a part of you doesn't really want to know. Crunch, 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 splat, click. Strange rustling sounds awaken you from your dreamless slumber. What time is it? Time to complain? I'll be honest, I'd be so mad if I was constantly getting woken up like that. Your eyes slowly open as your body forces itself awake. 3 a.m. Great. What the hell are they even doing? Come inside. Just like your picture. Disgusting! You let out a sigh, knowing that now you're awake it would be impossible for you to get back to sleep. Ever since you moved to your new apartment in Taohua, it's been harder for you to get a good night's rest, and all the creaking and whispers you hear from your close-by neighbours makes it almost impossible for your easily awoken self to get some sleep. The only good thing that's come out of your recent sleep deprivation is that you have more time to do work. I've got 2 graphs I need to fill out. Oh, and some reports I need to make for James. Screw James, I hate that guy. You pull out your computer and start typing away. The deadline for the reports is next month, but I guess I have time. I should just do it all now. So tiring. Your voice is too loud. My neighbours will hear, you know. Every time I hear his annoying voice, I crave violence. Yeah, I would too. Gritting your teeth, you try to type a little louder to drown out the noise your neighbour was making. The muffled giggles and voices kept worming through your head. Come on, let's go to my room. Yeah, just go inside. Yeah, this is my room. Yeah, don't worry about how dark it is. The door shut, and then the noise was gone. Finally, some peace and quiet. Even though you never met your noisiest neighbours, your impression of them was less than stellar. You often thought about confronting them or calling in a noise complaint, but ultimately decided against it due to the crippling fear of confrontation. Your eyes blinked heavily as you continued to write up your report, and soon you started to see the light trickle through your window. Barely in his sleep. Now I have to get to work. Just lovely. Your tired body picked itself off your work desk as you started to get ready for the day. Hopefully, I didn't pass out. This lack of sleep is really getting to me. Yinny, there you are, ready to start the day? No, I'm really not. Yinny, you're such a pessimist. Kelly lives a floor down from your apartment, thankfully. She works at the same office as you, so she often wants to walk together with you. She's extremely loud and upbeat, which can get annoying at times, but she buys you coffee occasionally, which makes her okay in your books. You look tired, Yinny. Noisy neighbours again? Yeah. Mr. Popular brought over another person, they would just not shut up. That sounds awful. Man, if I ever see their faces, I'll give them a real talking to. No one disturbs my friend. Kelly raises her fist, shaking it at the roof. Thanks, Kelly. Well, we better get going soon. Don't want the boss man to get mad at us. Right, let's go. You and Kelly both head off to work. Kelly waved goodbye to you as she quickly sat at her desk. But just as you were about to do the same, a voice pulls you over. Yinny, I was wondering when you'd show up here. I thought you tried to get to work earlier. Such a shame. Hey, screw you, James. Hated you in the other routes and I hate you now. But I guess punctuation has never been your strong suit. I wish this man the most pain imaginable, but I'm on time. Have you never heard the saying, on time is always late? No, but it sounds extremely stupid. Watch your tone to your higher-up. James is one of the higher-ups in the company. He's stolen your spot of Employee of the Month too many times for you to count, leaving a sort of rivalry. Since James is the higher-up, he's allowed to push his work onto you with little backlash. Did you get my reports done? You mean your work? Yeah, I have it done. Good. Send them to me and I shall see if you did a decent job. I hate this man. For your sake, better be good. You rolled your eyes and sat down at your desk. Your fingers started to hurt with how much you type and your chest started to feel cold, a feeling all too familiar to you. Knowing that your body was on the brink of passing out, you knew there was only one solution. I need some coffee. You poured yourself a large cup, not bothering to put in any cream or sugar. You gulped down the crappy coffee that was provided in the break room. Gross. This'll get me through the day though. You slugged back to your desk to finish up the rest of your work. Hey Yinny, ready to go? Finally, the day was over. Yeah, I'm ready. Not so fast. James walks over to you carrying your report printed out. Your reports that I did for you? Really? Because what I see is total crap. James sighed as he pushed his glasses back up onto his face. Redo it. What? I said redo it. There's no way I could possibly use something this terrible. But my shift ended, and it's late. Well, I don't care. You can't leave here until your work is done. James shoved the documents into my hands. I expect something better in the morning. Hey, you can't do that. Uni's shift is over. Have you never heard of overtime? This is too frustrating. It better be done tomorrow. I hope he perishes. I hate this guy. Absence has not made the heart grow fonder. I hate this man. James walked out the door, leaving me with the reports once again. Man, what an asshole. Oh shoot, sorry Yinny, I guess I'll have to leave without you. It's okay, Kelly. Sighing, you open up your computer once again. I'll see you later, okay? Don't stay up too late. Your fingers ran over your keyboard as the hours ticked away. Almost done. What the hell? It says question mark. And wait, what the hell does that say? I'm gonna look at the log because I can't read it. You tired yet? Oh, it's so uncomfortable. What the hell? Was a hi, who? Your head turns. Who's there? Nothing but silence follows your question. God, I must be really going crazy. You sipped on some coffee as you quickly finish up the reports. That should do it. Stretching your back, you got yourself and headed back to your apartment. You arrived back at the complex at 12 AM. Crunch. Snap. Such a mess. One of your neighbors was being noisy again. Muffled whispers filled your ears as your anger started to rise. This asshole. Have they seriously never heard of whispering? Something inside you starts to snap. Release your anger. With all the strength you could summon, you kicked at the door that was causing the most noise. Hey, asshole! It's 12 AM, shut the hell up! Everything went silent. You could hear someone fiddling with the lock. Well, crap. It's not like you wanted to actually talk to them. You kinda just wanted to vent your anger. A nervous rush was sent down your spine. Hurry back to your apartment or face them? Okay, I'm gonna hurry back. You duck your head as you quickly unlock the door. Closing your door, you let out a sigh. That was close. Your room was silent. The most silent it's been in months. Your eyes start to close as your body relaxes. And for the first time in a while, you had a good night's sleep. Did I? Really? In your deep sleep, you could feel a presence near you. It was undisturbing and calm like a moth that flew through your window. Small shuffling and heavy breaths caught your ears. So rare. She never sleeps. Her face is so calm like this. Excuse me? What? You could hear soft clicking. Good thing I brought my good camera. My phone is too old for it to look good. Okay, I can wake up. Wake up. You looked around the room. Nothing was there. Gone. I could have sworn I heard someone. You yawned. Your eyes felt heavy. Curling up into your covers, you fell back asleep. I'm nervous. You awake to the sound of someone knocking on your door. You yawned as you looked over to check the time. 9:30 AM. Good thing it's the weekend or I'd totally be late. The knocking continued, and you're a bit confused. The only person who visits you is Kelly, and even then, it's only for work. Sorry for disturbing you. Could you please open the door? A soft voice rang through your ears. You looked at your door, confused. Hold on. I'll be there in a second. You put on some comfortable clothes. Oh, he was so cute. Oh my gosh. I've actually never played his route properly before. As you open the door, you're met face to face with a young man. I hope I didn't wake you up. His dark green eyes glinted as he looked at you. His comfy sweater that covered his hands to his quiet voice. It was like everything about him screamed soft and apologetic. You shook your head, breaking out of your daze. I'm sorry to bother you at such an early time. Wait, I should introduce myself. My name is Hu. I live right across from you. You nodded. My name's Yinny. What can I help you with? Hu stared down at the ground, then back up to you. I heard what you said yesterday and I just feel awful. I didn't know I was making that much noise at night. His words took you back a bit. You never expected one of your neighbors to apologize to you, especially after you kicked one of the doors. It's okay, but what were you even doing that caused that much noise? Hu fidgeted with his hands. Well, I'm a second-year university student, and right now I've been taking a photography course just for fun. For an assignment, we had to take photos of our surrounding area, and since my major isn't photography, I usually have to do most of my work at night. I didn't know my camera was causing such a disturbance, though. If I knew you could hear all the clicking and clacking, I would have done it outside of the complex. His tone almost made you feel like a bad guy for calling the university student out just for doing his homework. Okay, well, just try not to be too loud at night. Okay. You yawned. Your body was still tired. It was very nice to meet you, Hu. I'll just be going now. Hu grabbed your sleeve. Wait. Oh, sorry. He let go of you immediately. I still feel bad. I mean, you spent so many nights restless because of me. I mean, yeah, I did have trouble sleeping. It kinda sucked. Well, I mean, it isn't just you. The other two neighbors make noise as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure all three of you know each other and all three of you are f***ed up. Even so, I want to make it up to you. If you let me, may I take you out to lunch or something? For all the trouble I've caused you, of course. You didn't know how to feel about this guy treating you to lunch. Even though he did cause you a lot of sleep deprivation, he was still just a university student. Sure? Well, if he's offering, I'm not gonna reject him. Sure, why not? Really, thank you. Does tomorrow at 12:30 work for you? You laugh at his excited expression. Yeah, sure. Perfect, see you then. Who waved to you as he went back into his room? You'd never seen someone so overjoyed about buying you food before. You went back into your room thinking about just sleeping the day away. Everything around you was calm. There were no disturbances in your deep slumber. You didn't know how long you were sleeping for. It didn't really matter to you. It was the weekend. There was no noise, no work, and only God knows you need the rest. You relish in the euphoric feeling of sleep. Are you kidding me? Yelling woke you, and you wanted to curse. I was just getting comfy. You know how much I can't believe you right now. I worked so hard for you to become successful, and you come to me wanting to switch your major. A second voice chimed in much quieter. Shh, someone's sleeping in there, they can hear you. And you can't keep controlling me. Wait, I wonder who he's talking to. I hate programming. Besides, I only know the stuff you need me to know, so get off my back. Whose voice? Who is he fighting with? You think I care? If you hate it, you're gonna be running this soon, so I need you to get your shit together. I don't want to run it. I don't want to work with people like that. You always say that, but what else are you gonna do? Whose voice went silent. Damn, when you're angry like this, you sure do look like Mom. What? Are you gonna lock me up till I do well, like she did to you? Wait, what? Are they related? Bang, being so ungrateful like this. I hope you're not too shaken up once I'm done with you. You're bitchy like her too. You quickly sat up, as the fighting you heard outside started to sound more and more violent. You opened the door still in your pajamas. You saw who? Being held up by his shirt, whose expression was cold and his vibe felt completely different than your first encounter. Who grabbed the man's wrist and whispered something in his ear. The guy who was holding who up, his eyes locked onto you. Look who's here. The man dropped too. He tried to stand up, gasping and coughing for breath. Yinny. Oh, it's Lee. Oh, I missed him. I love you, even though you were absolutely unhinged. Are you alright? Who? Are you okay? You ran over to Who, examining his face and neck. Who stood there with a shocked expression. He looked over at the other man, who suddenly flinched at your touch. Yinny, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you. We were just having an argument. I think I have a bruise. Your eyes widened. Who would hit someone so clearly weak? I mean, he is a little small. The other man just stood there. You give him a glare. Are you insane? You shouldn't hit someone just because you have a disagreement. The man laughed a bit. I barely even touched him. You're better than this, Who. Stop acting like such a pest. You could feel Who tense up, almost like his words were cutting him with a knife. Of course he's shaken up. You were holding him by the collar. Who touched your arm? It's okay, Yinny, I'm fine. The man sighed and cut Who off. Whatever. I had too much work to do to care about this. I'll let you off easy today, you brat. The man turned to you. And you. His eyes sealed you with judgment. His gaze suddenly softened. Sorry about the noise. So you're the new tenant. I guess I should introduce myself. My name's Lee. The sudden change in tone unnerved you. You nodded. I'm Yinny. Well, despite our unsightly encounter, it's nice to meet you, Yinny. Man, Lee is genuinely so terrifying. Lee flashed you a pretty smile. I mean, he's gorgeous, but he's so terrifying. Man, if I knew our new tenant was this pretty, I would have introduced myself earlier. Oh my god. Is this guy trying to flirt with me? You weren't sure what was worse, the situation or the fact that this guy was trying to flirt with you during this situation. His smile turned into a smirk as his eyes darted to where Who was standing. It seemed all too clear that his intention wasn't to really seduce you but to elicit a reaction. Your eyes glanced over at Who, whose eyes pierced into Lee with an unnerving amount of intensity. He bit his lip. You could almost hear his teeth breaking his skin as small bits of blood needled near his bottom lip. If you ever need any help adjusting to this place, I'm room 204. Hope to see you around. Lee gave one last look at Who before descending back into his room. Are you okay? Who broke out of his seething rage upon hearing your voice. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm sorry about that, Yinny. It's just that guy, he just gets me so angry. The sudden yell from Who shocked you. He cleared his throat and started again. Anyway, we're still up for today, right? You checked your phone. 12:10. I forgot I agreed to have lunch with him. Do you not want to do it anymore? No, I still want to. Just give me a bit to get out of my pajamas. Okay, I'll be waiting. You gave Who a hesitant smile before going back into your room. They both scare me. I heard Who is like the worst of all of them, I think, so I don't know, I'm kind of nervous. You quickly put on an outfit, not wanting to keep Who waiting long. In the back of your head, you were wondering what Who and Lee were fighting about that made it become so violent. Maybe it was just because you met him, but something about Who seemed inconsistent and sort of unstable. Maybe I'm being too judgmental. I mean, I did just meet the guy. You breathed in and out, trying to shake the feeling of unrelenting uneasiness. Ready to go? Hu was waiting for you as soon as you stepped out of your room. Yep. Great. Hu mentioned you to follow him. You and Hu walked around downtown. He occasionally asked you if any other food places caught your eye. You didn't really know what you were craving, but the hot sun made Hu suggest a small shop that served balbing. The signs outside, displaying the frozen treat, looked so good that you happily agreed. The place was filled with college students chatting and studying. Maybe Hu comes here often? What do you want? Order anything you like. You looked at the menu, everything looked extremely sweet and colourful. I bet some of these dishes are pretty expensive. Order something expensive, order something cheap. I'm gonna order something cheap, I wanna be nice. There's no way I could make him pay for something expensive. You looked over at the menu. There was a wide selection of balbing, as well as other sweet foods. You ended up deciding on the mango balbing. It was relatively cheap and it did sound really good. I guess I'll have the mango balbing. Hu smiled at you as he ordered a no sugar lemon tea and paid. Let's find a place to sit, Yinny. The tables are filling up quick. You and Hu sat down near the far end of the shop. Hu's eyes stared deeply into yours unblinkingly. It was almost eerie. A lady brought over your mango balbing and you stared at it in awe. It looked delicious. You took a bit of the fluffy ice, savoring every single bite. Wow, this is really good. I know, right? This place has the best desserts, not that I've ever tried them. What? You've never gotten a dessert here? Oh, I'm just not a huge fan of sweets. I like their drinks here though. So, how's work? Work? Oh god, you didn't even want to think about that right now. It's okay, work will be work, you know? You look so tired, Yinny. Are you sure there's nothing bothering you at work? You can tell me, you know? I'm a great listener. Hu seemed oddly interested in your work life. He scooted his chair a bit more towards the table. The room suddenly felt suffocating, and for a moment all you could do was stare at Hu's eager green eyes. Well, things at work are fine, it's just that there's this co-worker, and he's been kind of a jerk to me. I'm not sure what I did to him, but he keeps giving me his work ever since he got promoted. Ugh, I hate guys like that. Guys who make someone else do their work just to feel more powerful are just lonely, pathetic bastards. I mean, you gotta be a real dick if you enjoy being mean to someone as sweet as you. You choked on your food a bit. I mean, ayo. Maybe you're overthinking this, but you felt like Hu was definitely flirting with you, or trying to. You didn't know whether to feel flattered or uncomfortable. Maybe I should change the subject. Who was that guy you're in a fight with? Oh, him. Yeah, he's my older brother. Oh? We don't really get along that well. I'm so sorry you had to see that. Brother! I guess that explains why they were fighting like that. Wow, you guys look nothing alike. Yeah, we're half-brothers. My brother was just mad at me because he didn't like me taking my photography course. He just thinks it's a waste of time. Well, don't listen to him. You're an adult and he isn't the boss of you. I know, he's just so... Hu trailed off, unable to finish his sentence. You looked down at your bowl, everything was gone. Oh, are you done? Hu quickly took a small sip of his tea. Thank you so much for meeting with me, Yinny. I had a really fun time with you. I had a really good time too. Even though this hangout was an apology, I hope we can do something like this again. If you'd like to, I mean. Hu fiddled with his hands as a blush creeped onto his face. You never had that effect on someone before. Nodding your head, you gave him a reassuring glance. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Yinny is so kind. It's kind of creeping me out a bit. You and Hu walked back to the complex together. Him staring at you with almost a soft sort of admiration the whole time. You woke up early and stretched your back. The complex was silent all last night, and you wonder if Hu talked to your other neighbours about your troubles. As you got your work clothes on, you start to think about your lunch with Hu. And what a great time we had. He was a nice guy. But for some reason, you kind of got a strange vibe from him. Something is wrong. He's still cute though. But maybe that's just how college students are nowadays? Oh, Yinny! I was just about to wake you. You're up early today. Yeah, my neighbours finally stopped making all the noise at night, so I finally got some sleep. That's great news. I guess they realized how insensitive they were being. Kelly yelled at one of the doors and you could hear a small curse from it. Anyway, let's get going. Don't want James to get angry at us again. You mean angry at me? I don't know why he's only a jerk to me. Because he's an ass. Don't worry about him, Yinny. He has no real power in the company. You wanted to believe Kelly. But knowing how the company runs, it would be safer to just grin and bear the work he gave you. I hate James. I hope the worst fate happens to that man. You just nod silently as you and Kelly walk to work. Quickly sitting at your desk, you looked at the time. 10 minutes early. James can't give me crap about my time now. You saw James walk through the door a minute after you carrying coffee in a thermos. Yinny. Well, you're here early. You gave James a glare. Well, by your definition, I'm right on time. James pushed up his glasses. No need to be so hostile. It'll give you more wrinkles, you know. I hate you. You grumbled out a curse under your breath. God, my coffee is way too hot. Ugh. James gave you one last glance. You should probably get some coffee too. You look like you need it. Hey! James sat down at his desk as you marinated in your anger. I hope your coffee burns your throat. You continued to work throughout your graphs and reports, and saw more and more of your co-workers trickle in. With a sigh, you saw James once again walk in your direction, his thermos still in his hand. Yandere, I have some work I need you to do. He groaned under your breath. Right on time. Don't groan at me. Don't tell me what to do. You are straight up just not my boss. James took a long sip of his coffee. You know a lot of people would kill to have your kind of job right now. Shouldn't be complaining when there's thousands of people unemployed. Okay, well maybe you shouldn't be treating people like shit. Seriously, how ungrateful. James coughed a little. His breath turned heavy suddenly. Wait, what? You gave him an odd look. James? James kept coughing, heavier this time, and soon it was mixed in with wheezes of agony. You can hear people stopping their typing as heads turned to James. Divine intervention? Divine intervention being who being insane and maybe poisoning him? Oh, yeah, divine intervention is who being insane and maybe poisoning him. Oh my god. James held his chest as he started to bend over to throw up. You got up out of your chair. Holy shit! James let out desperate pleas to no one in particular as he continued to throw up. You could see blood and tiny bits of glass mixed into the pink-colored throw-up. Oh my god. That's so painful. Okay, I kind of actually feel bad for him. Someone call an ambulance. Oh my god. People started to gather around James to help him up. All you could do was just stare as James continued to cough and throw up blood. James was carried off into the ambulance that day. The police report came out. Apparently there was cyanide and glass mixed into his coffee. What? I can't imagine James putting that stuff in there himself, but it seems like there was no sign of a person being in his apartment at that time. Even though James was in the hospital in critical condition, you couldn't bring yourself to feel bad for him. Oh, okay, so we don't feel bad for him. Alright. You felt like after everything he put you through, you finally got that form of karma you were looking for. Everyone was on edge at the office throughout the week. It seemed people were convinced that there was some sort of killer on the loose. You weren't really sure how much you believed that though. Besides, you had bigger things to worry about. Like him, who seemed to never leave you alone after you met him. He's wearing a minion jumper. That's so cute. Even though he probably should leave me alone, but still. Every time you would come back to the complex, he would often greet you from outside his room almost like a dog. It seemed all too clear what sort of feelings Who had for you. I mean, he's cute though. He's not really my type, but he's cute. You didn't really mind, but you couldn't really deny how uncomfortable it was. It almost seemed like every chance he had for free time, Who would be there ready to interject. Maybe he's just lonely, just like now. Who had a new project for his photography course, and he practically begged you to help him with it. You didn't really have a problem with helping him until you found out that the help you were giving was being a model for him. Could you turn your head just a little bit towards the sun? Me? Model? Never. I would never have the confidence. You gave him a glare. You've been in this photo shoot for almost 2 hours. How many more photos do you need? Just a few more. I bet it's not even photos for his project. I bet he's just taking photos for his spank bang. He's been saying that for the past hour. Could you at least show me one of the photos? Last time I did that, you made me delete it because I looked bad. Who shook his head? You're so photogenic. There's no way you could ever look bad, Yinny. Don't lie. You're just as beautiful and sweet as these peach blossoms. How could you ever look bad near them? You could almost taste the cheese in that sentence. Whatever. Let's just hurry up with this. I have work tomorrow, Who? My project was all about capturing the inner beauty of someone. We can't rush it. Who snapped another photo of you, catching you off guard? The only inner beauty I ever had is if, like, Tao was, inside of me. There's the inner beauty. Who snapped another photo of you, catching you off guard? Okay, 2 more and then we'll take a break. Just a break! You knew deep down one day you'd have to tell Who how you felt about him. You didn't really like the feeling of leading him on like this, even if you were just hanging out with him. But with Hugh's constant request to hang out, it was kinda hard to reject all of his advances, and then when you tell him it's gonna go to shit, the more you hung out with him, the more you felt like someone was watching you. At work, shopping, whenever you were alone, you would hear shuffling near you or camera shutters. But especially at night, there were never any signs of someone in your apartment. But every time you went to sleep, you just couldn't shake that lingering feeling. Your eyes shot open as a noise caught your ears. You looked around your room. No one's there again. You felt like you were slowly starting to lose your mind. The room suddenly felt unsafe. Needing to clear your head, you got on your coat and stepped outside. The rain chilled your skin a bit as you breathed in the cold air. However, even with the smell of rainwater, there was an overpowering smokiness outside. What are you doing out here? You looked over. Oh god, he's hot. Oh, I miss you, Lee. Your younger brother is causing problems for me? You know it's not safe for you to be out so late. Why are you blushing? You're hot. Hasn't anyone told you that all the creeps come out at night? Yeah, like you? Lee was leaning next to one of the walls of the complex, smoking in the rain. I was just trying to clear my head. Is the complex not silent enough for you now? You know Who gave Tao and I an earful about the noise level. He sighed as you leaned on the wall next to him. I don't know, maybe it's too quiet now? Every time I hear even the smallest noise, I get so anxious. It feels like someone's watching me. You shook your head, not wanting to overshare with him. Maybe you're just lonely. What? When people are alone, they tend to get a little more paranoid. If you want, we can start making more noise again. As in, you and me can start making more noise again? Together? In bed? Absolutely not. So harsh. I was just joking. Lee's eyes shifted over to the glass doors before he spoke again. Well, if you're really worried, the next time you feel anxious, you can always come talk to me. Aw, that's so deceptively sweet, because I know exactly what kind of person you are. I'm just next door. Lee scooted a little closer. You didn't know how to feel about the sudden lack of distance between you two, but you had a sneaking suspicion of what Lee was doing. You considered yourself not really swooned by such a sloppy way of flirting. Maybe it was just his looks, but you could feel your face heat up slightly. Lee took another quick glance at the doors before looking back at you with a sweet smile. Oh god, I feel like this is going to determine the good or bad ending. Alright, we are going to keep our distance first. Feeling suddenly uncomfortable, you slowly scooted away from him. You wondered if being oddly flirtatious was a family trait for Lee and Hu. Lee sighed as he blew out some more smoke. I'm being mean right now, aren't I? I mean, a little bit, yeah. Why are you sitting on the doorstep looking like a BL pro tag and flirting with me? Even when you don't mean it. You looked at him confused. What do you mean? You know my brother likes you, right? You nodded. I thought this would be more fun to see him all jealous and mad if I got closer to you. But right now he just looks pathetic. How sad. Lee patted your shoulder. You should go back inside and clear up everything. What the hell are you talking about? You'll see soon. Unless he's a chicken. Oh, I'm scared. You gave Lee a weirded out look before walking back to the complex. The hallways buzzed with fluorescent lighting. Going outside did clear your head a bit. However, you still felt as though you were being watched. As you kept walking down the hall, you bumped into someone. Oh, Hu, you scared me. In the dim light, you could see Hu. However, he looked different. More disheveled and his green eyes weren't as vibrant. It's unfair, you know. Excuse me? You're with him. He doesn't even like you like I do. I didn't even want... I wasn't going to be anything to you. I didn't care about that though. I just... Hu? Wanted to see you up close. Dude? Hey? Hu stepped closer. You didn't get what he was saying. You didn't even know what he was trying to say. I'm the only one who pays attention to your struggles. I'm the one who knows even remotely how close it feels to be like you. To be trapped in a never-ending cycle of work and loneliness. And I know I'm not as strong or handsome like Tao, or smart and mysterious like my brother. What are you even talking about? Wait, who's Tao? I can't take up your attention like they probably could. Or I guess, like Lee already did. Okay, you were fully creeped out at this point. Okay, Hu, I need to go now. It was nice talking with you. Don't leave! Hu grabbed your arm. He dug his nail into your wrist and you winced in pain trying to shake him off. Not yet. Get off! You pushed Hu hard. Hu fell to the ground but quickly got up. That hurt. Hu moved even closer now and you tried to push past him. You know if you hit me like that, I'll do it right back. What? What? Hu kicked your shin, putting his whole body into it. You fell down to the ground, gripping your throbbing leg. Hu stepped on your chest, preventing you from getting back up. The situation was happening so fast, you didn't even have time to react before he pulled out something long and sharp from under his sleeve. Dude, I borrowed this from Tao. You're gonna feel a bit dizzy when you wake up again. You screamed out a plea for help as he tried to get Hu's foot off of you. How quickly he stuck the needle into your forearm and you could feel it sink under your skin into the muscle. Your ears started to ring and your body tightened up. Before you could even think, everything went black. Not good? Really not good? What the hell? Your body hurt. Everything felt way too tight. Were you dead? No, that couldn't be right. You can move your fingers a little. As you slowly regained consciousness, you could feel control of your eyelids slowly coming back. But you didn't want to wake up. You didn't want to see where you were or what was happening to you. But as your anxiousness settled into your stomach, your curiosity forced you to open them. Where am I? Damn, bitch, you live like this? Ooh, your room is a mess. Your heart was beating so fast it hurt your chest. Looking down, you could see your hands and your left ankle handcuffed to a desk that was bolted down into the ground. The chain connecting the cuffs was about 3 feet long, just long enough for you to lay on the ground while still being cuffed to the table. My head! Your head hurt like you had the worst hangover of your life. You sucked in a breath trying to keep it together. This is some horrible nightmare. It has to be. You struggle around in your cuffs trying to break the chain on the chair's leg. Hearing the sound of the door to the room being unlocked, you stop struggling. Oh, Yinny, you're awake. You stared at Hu wide-eyed, wanting to shout at him, but your body and mouth couldn't move at all, like you were in a trance. Hello? You in there, Yinny? Hu bent down to your level, keeping a good amount of distance between you two. You must be still in shock. That's okay. You can take as long as you want. I'll be here waiting for you to calm down. Calm down? Calm down? Are you kidding? Your heart felt like it was about to jump out of your chest. The chains were tight, and you couldn't reach him to fight back. You didn't know what he was going to do to you, but you had a feeling that you're going to die. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Oh God. Your stomach's soured and your head still hurt. You felt like throwing up. What are you gonna do to me? Who got a little closer to you? Not close enough for you to touch him though. I won't do anything to you. I just want us to be together, to be closer. It's a little embarrassing to say out loud, actually. Especially having you here like this. Who stretched his wrist a little, picking out what you could assume was a scab. This really doesn't seem like a good idea. Who kept mumbling to himself, something you couldn't understand. Who? This isn't right. You can't keep me here. It's too late, Yiddy. Besides, I want you here. I knew you'd never like me otherwise. I'm okay with you hating me, as long as I can see you. Whose hand got a little closer to your head. It looked like he almost wanted to pat you, but he quickly withdrew. It won't be too bad here, you know. I can take care of you, and I'm sure you can adjust well. And if you don't, I'm sure I could find a way to make you stay anyway. Dude? I mean, it can't be as bad as Tao cutting off my arms and legs. Who looked down at your ankles? You suddenly felt aware of how your tendons attached to the muscle of your calf, and how it would be so easy to just cut them down the middle. No, absolutely not. It looks like we have an understanding of each other. Whose phone started to buzz as an alarm went off. Oh shoot, I'm gonna be late for my first course. Before I forget, yeah. Who set down a plate of 3 boiled eggs and a glass of juice? I don't really have food in my room, so it isn't much. Wait, you're gonna kidnap me, keep me here, and not even feed me? Do you even own soap? Do you even wash your butt? Who? But I promise I'll go get you some food when I get back. Who checked his phone one more time? I'll be back in a bit. Who grabbed a pillow and a blanket off his bed and set them down closer to you? Sleep while I'm gone. Wait, you're just gonna leave me here? Not for very long though. I'll be back. Just be good while I'm gone. And try to sleep. I promise if you sleep, it'll make adjusting here easier. Another alarm went off on Who's phone. I'm so late. Bye, Yinny. Have a good rest. What? You wanted to say something more, but Who was already out the door. You could hear the door slam shut, and a loud sound of locking. What am I gonna do? You grabbed at the chain holding you. You kept pulling and shaking it to no avail. Tears seeped out of your eyes as you realized you weren't getting out. You lay down, refusing the pillow and blanket. You cried, and you cried hard, screaming out pleas for help. Yeah, but no one's gonna listen because Tao and Lee are just as insane as Who is. Your body soon became exhausted with all your panic and you felt hungry and weak. The plate of boiled eggs was still next to you, including the juice. Eat the food. Don't eat. I don't know. Alright, we'll eat the food this time. After your brief tantrum, you grabbed the plate and started to munch on the eggs. The eggs didn't really fill you up. Grabbing the glass, you took small sips of the juice. Once the food was gone, you felt strange. Your body felt even weaker than before, and you could barely keep your eyelids from falling. Oh, great. He's put something in the juice. With one last-ditch effort to keep yourself awake, you move your hand, shaking it from side to side. It still wasn't enough, and you felt a bit of fear as you drifted off into a deep sleep. The days blurred together for you, as you remained as Who's prisoner. You slowly started to lose your sanity bit by bit. The idea of reasoning with Who went out the window, since every time you brought up the idea of leaving he would get upset, or force you to be even more restrained for the next day. Jesus! He did give you some pleasantries as the days passed. Instead of laying on the floor, he got you a rather squishy mattress with lots of blankets, pillows, and stuffed animals. He is just keeping me here like a pet. Your chains got longer, but they were still tight enough around your wrists that you couldn't do much with them on. He'd let you take showers and use the bathroom, but he'd be waiting outside the door with a taser to usher you back to your bed. You've even debated drowning yourself in the bath to stop this nightmare, but you were afraid of what Who would do to you if he caught you. He gave you a lot of snacks when you left for school, and there was still nothing to keep you occupied, but that was probably because he wanted you to sleep as much as possible, which scared you, because you still didn't know why Who wanted you to sleep so much. You'd even sometimes find crushed up sleeping pills in your food, causing you to stop eating Who's meals altogether. You wondered if anyone was looking for you. Yeah, like Kelly? Did anyone notice? You were gone for so long. The hope you felt about being saved kept dwindling every time he came back to greet you. The scariest thing about being here, though, was definitely Who's moods. You heard a loud slam of the door. You quickly shuffled under the table as Who walked in with rage. Oh, that arsehole! Who's face was red and he started to yell out curses. He seemed particularly angry today. Stupid way. Stupid friggin'. You tried to think of something, anything, to stop the fear from taking over you. Dude? Who punched a hole in the wall next to his bed? The drywall made a loud popping sound as it caved in on itself, leaving a small hole. Whose breath was heavy. His eyes looked down towards you. Oh, Yinny, I'm so sorry. I should control my temper. He knelt down and ran his fingers through your hair, trying to stop himself from shaking as he gently caresses you. Calm down, Who. Calm down. Who continued to caress your head as his breathing calmed down. This is scary. Where? His eyes scaled you. Baby, you look so bony. His touch had more pressure on it now. I guess you have lost a bit of weight since you got here. Does my cooking not taste good? Are the snacks I got for you not the ones you like? I'm sure you like them. I used to always see you eating them during work. What? Who took his hand off of your head? I'll go cook you something soon. Who looked at the hole in the wall? My brother's gonna totally freak. Who groaned as he laid down on his bed? Today was awful, Yinny. My brother and Tao, they kept telling me how crazy I am. They kept saying I can't keep you, and that I'm gonna get caught if I keep you alive. But I'm careful. I'm taking care of you. Don't you agree? Whose green eyes looked over you? You nodded, not wanting to anger him. Who gave you a pitiful stare? You're so scared of me, huh? I haven't punished you in a while. I thought you'd be over it by now. A lump formed in your throat with the reminder of Hugh's punishments. You started to shake, and it felt like the needles were once again in your ankles. Stop thinking. I guess it was pretty brutal. Sorry, I didn't know your pain tolerance was that low. But I mean, what else did you expect me to do? Let you run? I can't be sweet to you all the time. You're never sweet to me. Hugh quickly got up from his bed. Excuse me? Say that again. Sweat formed on your brow. You didn't mean to say that. You talked. It's nice to hear your voice again. I was worried that you suddenly lost the ability to talk. How horrible that the first words I hear in a while is something nasty. You froze, realizing what you just said. Don't just sit there. Answer me. You glanced down, unable to meet his piercing gaze. I didn't mean it. Oh, but you did. He leaned closer, his eyes narrowing. You think I'm cruel? After everything I've done to keep you here. Safe. That's not what I meant. I'm sorry, it just came out. Your voice was barely a whisper, your hands starting to shake. Then, what did you mean? He tilted his head, the look in his eyes watching you expectantly. Tears welled up in yours, even though Hugh's voice still remained soft. You knew what would happen if you ticked him off too much. Hugh sighed as he turned away from you, pacing around the front of his room. I just don't get it, Yinny. We could be so happy here together if you would just give in to it already. I always saw you. Do you seriously want to go back to that shit life you had? Your body shook with fear as he spoke. I'm sorry, I'm scaring you again, aren't I? You tried to stammer in response, but the words wouldn't come. You don't have to answer me, Yinny. I can see it in your eyes. His voice softened, but his gaze remained cold and unyielding. Your gaze remained fixed on the floor as his footsteps echoed around the room. Why wouldn't you just understand? His voice grew sharper, a hint of frustration creeping in. Hugh's breaths became hectic. I gotta go. Hugh quickly left the room, slamming the door behind him. You dug your face into your knees. Crap, I shouldn't have spoken. Your mind was racing, and it was only amplified by the hunger you felt. Not knowing what he would do when he got back, you closed your eyes trying to calm yourself. Man, who is scaring me the most? Your eyes slowly opened as he came back into consciousness. He is terrifying me. Who? Who was nowhere to be found. You looked around the room, and the place looked even more like a wreck than usual. You had no idea how you didn't wake up from the sheer amount of stuff that had fallen onto the floor. Looking around some more, something small and shiny caught your eye. No, reaching out, you grabbed a small Swiss pocket knife on the floor. You almost thought you were still dreaming no matter how many times you wrecked the place. You were still careful enough to take anything away that could remotely harm you or help you escape. Make the army know you pulled out the pick in it. Trying with all the strength you had, you tried out the chain trying to break it off from one of the loops. Come on, please. Clink. The cuff was still on you, but you were freed. Oh my god. You started doing it to the other chains with the remaining bit of your force. Your legs wobbled as you tried to stand up. You could hear your knees snap and pop, and you fully stood. You almost wanted to cry tears of joy, until you heard the door creak open. Oh no, I'm sorry, baby. I just had to clear my head. I bought you some cake. Who stopped in his tracks and saw you standing up fully. What are you doing? I'm scared. Who? I was just... You looked at the army knife in your hands. You quickly pulled out the blade, pointing it at him. Stay back. I'll stab you if you get any closer. Who didn't seem fazed at all as he stalked closer to you. Baby, hand me the knife. Now, you could hurt yourself with that thing. You just froze as he held the knife still. You both just stood staring at each other. Before you could even register to stab Hugh, he lunged at you, trying to force you down. He screamed and swung, slashing him across the face. Hugh forced the knife out of your grip and shoved you against the wall, hitting your hand with the blade, stabbing it deep into the wood. Oh my god, dude. Holy shit. What the hell? You screamed as Hugh twisted the knife, ramming it deeper into your hand, the pain blurring your vision. You wanna leave so bad, baby? Get off me, you freaking pest! Help! Hugh smirked, rolling his eyes as if your pleas were nothing more than an annoying buzz. No one's coming for you. He leaned in closer, his breath hot against your ear. No one will ever find you. With a cruel grin, he pressed the knife deeper, sending shockwaves of pain coursing through you, your cries echoing in Hugh's small room. You'll never see sunlight, and I'll make sure of it. This is your life now, Yinny. Just you and me, and I will break you piece by piece. Who emphasized each of his words by stabbing deeper. The world around you faded, your mind screaming for escape, but all you felt was the horrible pain of your hands slowly becoming nailed to the wall. With every word, Who tightened his hold, his eyes glimmering with a sadistic delight, reveling in your agony. Who took the knife out from your hands as you fell to the ground, sobbing from the pain. Oh? Do you want me to patch you up? You tried to nod through your sobs as Who mocked you in a fake sweet voice. Oh, baby. Doing a stupid thing and ending up getting a freaking consequence. Your body shook as he picked you up. Bad end. Consequence. Jesus Christ. So, oh my god, Who is definitely the worst, I think, because at least the others have good endings. Except I know Who only has bad endings. And I believe he has 2, so I'm gonna try and find the other ones. But that was freaking horrid. I think he definitely scares me the most. Alright. Let's try this again. I'm gonna pick all the negative options and see what happens. I'm just picking all the mean ones. Okay, so if you pick all the mean ones, you actually take photos with him at night. The dialogue is the same though. Alright, let's move closer to Lee this time. You move closer to Lee, looking at his eyes more closely. While his eyes were a rather common color, the deep brown somehow looked rather special on him. Maybe I've been looking at Who's eyes too much. I forgot how pretty darker eyes were. What's wrong? Nothing. You sure? You've been staring at me a lot. Do you want something? Before you could think, you brought your hand to his hair, trying to bend him to your level. Uh-oh. Lee looked at you in shock. Once again, his eyes looked over at the doors, but somehow, you seemed to fail to notice. You were too caught up in the euphoric feeling of being too close to him. Oh, I am in so much trouble. Looking back at you, Lee bent down a little more. You never realized how tall he was. Yinny, can I kiss you? I mean, you can do more than kissing if you like. I really like you. His voice seemed a little louder. His stomach swarmed with butterflies. Your face was fully red now. You nodded a little. Lee took one last glance at the door, giving somewhat of a smirk to it before turning off his lighter and kissing you. His lips were soft. Somehow in your kiss, your bodies moved off the wall that was keeping you dry. The rain was cold and your clothes started to get wet. However, you couldn't find it in yourself to mind. He tasted like smoke and coffee. It was so bitter. Ew. Lee's chest was so close to you that you could hear his heartbeat. It was slow, which surprised you slightly. You were running out of oxygen as Lee kept kissing you. I don't like this because Who is watching? And he is going to destroy us. It almost felt like Lee wasn't even paying attention, like he didn't even care. Once he let you go, you started to gasp for air. You looked back at Lee and wondered if he was going to say anything about what just happened. Lee covered his mouth. Lee laughed hysterically while you stood there in shock. God, his face right now, so priceless. Lee patted your shoulder. Thanks for that. You should go back inside soon. Lee went back over to his wall as he started to smoke again. You stood dumbfounded. Was he just going to pretend that didn't happen? Well, go on. Don't want to catch a cold. You looked at your clothes. You were cold and wet and the kiss didn't feel as good as you imagined. Sighing, you walked back to the complex. Yeah, Who is straight up going to kill you? Okay, this is the same. And then he takes the needle. Alright, so basically all the bad choices lead to this ending. It's not as entertaining as the other one though, but there is a dialogue change towards the end. And so this is after he comes home and punches the wall. You don't have to answer me, Yinny. I can see it in your eyes. Whose voice softened, but his gaze remained cold and unyielding. Oh, love. Who kneeled down to you, petting your head softly. I don't want to scare you. I just want you to understand me. You stayed still, feeling the weight of his touch, but it wasn't comforting to you at all. If you just listen, if you just give in a little, we could be so happy here. His fingers traced down the side of your face, sending a shiver through you. But you keep fighting me. You keep looking at me like I'm some kind of monster. That's because you are. He paused, his expression briefly wavering with something almost like sadness. Maybe I'm just not trying hard enough. He sighed, his hand lingering for a moment, before he stood back up. But I'll keep trying for us. I'll show you that all you need is me. Who stood up, his face turning grim. I'm selfish, I know. But I just know we're perfect together. I'm not gonna let my chance at love slip away from me again. Again? Now get some rest, Yinny. Tomorrow, I'll make sure you're comfortable. As he turned to leave, you couldn't shake the dread settling over you, knowing that comfortable in Whose terms was anything but safe. Bad relationship end. Stay with me, please. Jesus Christ, Who is so horrible. But that was both of Whose endings in his route of Pretty Boy Panic. I hope you guys liked this as much as I did. I'm so happy to finally play the final chapter of this game. Honestly, I really like Bingsy's games. They're such a good approach to like incredibly unhinged yandere and horror that she blends together so well. So every single time I have the privilege to play one of her games, it's always such a pleasure. It's hard to feel attraction to Who because he is terrifying in this one. He's so scary. At least like Lee and Tao had good endings, but who just doesn't even have one? Thank you so much for experiencing the story with me though. If you guys like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. If you want to hang out outside of videos, I stream on Twitch 3 times a week. Feel free to come over and hang out with me in the community. But that's all for now. I'll see you guys in the next video, and until next time, take care.